Welcome back to Booktalks podcast. This is Kayla.
And Marissa.
And this week we read Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. We have our stacks. As you see, I don't have the new book yet because look at this. Look how it matches. I can't.
I know. I really didn't want the hardback, but one of us had to bite the bullet and get pictures of it. So here you go.
Well, for Happy Places, I bought it for the podcast because we covered it, and I sold it on Bango and bought the paperback. So I really probably just bought the book twice. But I did. So I went through earlier today and I ranked all my Emily Henry books. So I think before we get into our thoughts, we should rank them so to know where this lies with the rest of them.
Okay. The problem for me is I do not remember Book Lovers, like at all. I feel like I liked it, but I could not tell you what it was about in any way, shape, or form.
So the thing is, it's my number one, but I also couldn't tell you what it's about.
Okay, so it's your number one. Great.
I just knew I really liked it, and I think I didn't own it, and then I went out and bought it because I loved it so much. So it's in the number one spot. I do remember It was like an editor, and she was like from New York City, and then she went to a small town, and it was just like a vibe. Like I feel like I wanted to be a city girl in a small town and fall for a man. So okay, but where do you put Book Lovers?
So for me, it's number 2, I think. But I don't remember what it's in, but I'm pretty sure. The thing is, I do remember what all the other ones are about, which I find really weird that for whatever reason, my mind has blacked out Book Lovers. Like there's just a giant hole where the synopsis for Book Lovers should be. But I remember what the other ones are about. And so by process of elimination on those, for me, Book Lovers is number 2. My number 1 is Beach Read.
So Beach Read's my number 2. I was a toss-up because I did read this in one sitting, but I honestly think I was just like pure self-pressured myself to do that because it was when this was going everywhere when we first started Bookstagram, and I was like, I have to know the hype. It was really good. I do recall it being a good book. Again, I don't think I can tell you what it's about though.
I just remember getting to the end and crying. Like I was sitting on my couch, just tears streaming down my face, mascara everywhere. And I pulled out my phone to record myself because, obviously that's what you do. And I thought someday I would use that clip in some kind of review for Beach Read. And then I never did anything with it. So there's just a video of me crying on my phone over Beach Read. But I loved it so much. I sat outside, I read it. It was the perfect summer book. And I don't really remember what it was about, but I think she was writing a book maybe. So again, it was like a book about people who were into books.
I love books about writers. I keep remembering a backyard scene in Beach Read, but I don't recall anything else.
I think this is the one where she was on some ocean and her next door, and like she had a balcony patio thing, and her next door neighbor was the grumpy guy who also had a patio, and so they would both be outside at the same time, not talking, just working on their manuscripts, and there was like all the tension. So I think that's this one.
So I would say third was Great Big Beautiful Life. I like this one a lot.
I put this as number 3 as well.
Wow. Okay, we're the same. I think Funny Stories is my 4th.
I think that's the only one I haven't read. I don't think I've read Funny Story.
Did we not read it for the podcast?
No.
The reason I didn't love this book is because the main guy was like a big pot smoker in the beginning of the book, and I was like, I never read a book about that. But then he like turned it around, and it was cute. She was a librarian. It was a cute story. That's why I think I like it more than Happy Places. I don't remember the couple. I just remember the friends in this book. So I feel like as a romance, that's not what you want from a romance book.
Yeah. Funny Story, what you just described sounds really familiar, and now I'm wondering if I did read it. Because I remember a librarian and I remember a pot smoker. Is there a Catherine Center book that has those two same elements?
Not that I know of.
maybe I've read Funny Story. I don't know why I wouldn't
You
own
did
it.
read this.
Huh. Well, I have no idea. I guess for me it's probably number 4.
Let me check Goodreads. You've marked it as read. It's on Goodreads. You've marked it as read.
I have zero recollection of reading it. But I mean, I guess I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I think I thought
You
this
remember
was
the
a
plot
Catherine Sinner
loosely.
book. Yeah. How bizarre. Yes, I remember reading this.
We're bad.
I cannot believe I've read this. I'm so confused.
Did you rank it 4th?
I I I do. I actually think this was one of my I, I think I'm torn between it and Great Big Beautiful Life being number 3 because Funny Story was super funny. Like I just remember laughing throughout it. It was so ridiculous, so funny because it was that this is the one where she is getting like divorced or breaking up with her fiance or whatever, and then the guy whose girlfriend is now dating her ex-fiance, she has to move in with that guy, and it's like, come on, how does that even happen? Um, and it was so ridiculous, but I just remember belly laughing to this book the whole time. So, oh, that's a tough one whether it should be my number 3 or Great Big Beautiful Life. I might put Funny Story as my number 3 and have Great Big Beautiful Life as my number 4.
See, I love both of them, but now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like I remember the plot of Funny Story more than I remember it now. Great Beautiful Life. No, I'm gonna
And
leave it. I'm gonna leave it as my 4th. We're gonna
we
be
just
different.
read Great Big
I'm
Beautiful
not gonna be
Life.
influenced by this. So I would say my 5th book, well, my last book, which is like default, is People Who Meet on Vacation. And I stand by this. The whole chunks of time and the jumping back and forth took me out of the story. I was over it. I was just like trying to get through it, and I didn't like it at all.
Yeah. I'd probably agree. So I'd probably be Beach Read, Book Lovers, Funny Story, Great Big Beautiful Life, Happy Place, and then People We Meet on Vacation. I I could rank People We Meet on Vacation higher than Happy Place, but I don't really remember it well enough to make that determination. And Happy Place, I do remember. I liked Happy Place. Happy Place was a little more serious. And like you said, it was a little more friends than romance lovers kind of thing. I mean, there was romance in it, obviously, but it was more like a friendship love type of book. So I don't know. That's why I could go with People We Meet on Vacation just because that was more like romance, but I don't remember it well enough to say for sure. So I think that would be my ranking with this as number 5 and People We Meet on Vacation as number 6.
It's really awesome is how much she's grown as an author, because I remember this was jumping around a lot in timelines and it was so choppy. Whereas Great Big Beautiful Life jumped around to 2 different storylines and it was like effortlessly woven in.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good.
Yeah, Great Big Beautiful Life was pretty good. I I think I went into it with the wrong expectations because through a book, sorry. I feel like some of her stories, like Book Lovers and Funny Story, they're very funny. They're like romantic comedies. Great Big Beautiful Life is not like a romantic comedy. Like there's funny stuff in it, but honestly at times it read like a thriller. Like Margaret Ives storytelling read almost like a thriller. You're like where's this going? I don't know. Like something scary about to happen. Plus it was a little like more serious, especially with the twist at the end. And I mean it was still romance. So I'm not like saying, "Oh, it's not a romance book." It just wasn't the like laugh out loud, funny, like rom-com sort of romance. So I think I went into it expecting that, and that shaped my enjoyment of it just a little bit because I was like, why is it not so funny? But it was really good, and I did really like it. And the fact that it kind of read like a thriller was super interesting.
I liked Margaret's storyline better.
Did you?
I did.
Yeah. I thought Margaret and Cosmo's love was way more epic than Alice and Hayden's relationship.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if there were supposed to be like parallels, with the hot and cold and the instant love. Not hot and cold, but the whole from like 0 to 100, because they both
Yeah, that's
kind of took
interesting.
off that way. But I would say I was more invested in Cosmo and Margaret, and I wanted to know how he died, and I wanted to know like it was good. She like and how she would tell a story with her like lies in it, and then you had to
Yeah.
like dissect it yourself as a reader. It was a good like idea. Like I don't know how she thought of that.
Yeah. It was heartbreaking to me though at the end because like when Margaret's telling the story of how he died, it's that oh, she's maybe having like an appendicitis or something, I don't know. But then it turns out I think he knew she was pregnant. And that's just so sad because he's like thinking something's wrong with her, something's wrong with the baby. I got to get her to the hospital. And then he dies and never gets to meet his. I mean, it made me really, really sad.
We should have probably done a spoiler warning before all of that.
Whoops.
We might
What
need to
baby? Who died?
you might need to add text before that, or it says spoiler warning. Um, Going back to our how we do podcasts with book reviews, we will be spoiling everything, and everything we're dissecting the book to its completion. So if you have not read the book, I'd recommend you reading it and coming back, because we will ruin it for you.
And everything I just said was a lie. So the spoilers start now.
Someone related this book to Evelyn Hugo.
The Seven Husbands.
Yes.
Oh.
I feel like this is better than that.
Yeah. I think this one was more interesting than that. Like that one, I mean, they're both interesting. This one I enjoyed more. I really wanted to find out what was happening with Margaret's story and Cosmo.
But it did break. I don't know. It made me cry at the end. When she kind of gave up Hayden because she couldn't lie to him.
I
Like that broke my
know.
heart.
I'm pretty sure an NDA wouldn't have stopped me from telling him everything.
It's like millions of dollars.
I know, but like, what's he gonna do? Like, I would just say, hey, I'm telling you this, but don't tell anyone.
True. I never know how they enforce those. I'm the worst gossip. I could never, be like in the FBI or anything. So
Whoops.
I could never be someone who signs NDAs, or someone who's interviewing this famous person who has all these accolades. I could never keep my mouth shut.
Well, like, for me, I can't even go somewhere without texting my mom just for safety purposes. So I'm like, the fact that she's like, I'm in some undisclosed town nearby, but I can't tell you where or what I'm doing or who I'm with. It's are you okay? This sounds like you've been kidnapped.
Also, like safety reasons, my location is shared with too many people. Like they would know where I am. They'd be like, "Why are you at some random house on some random beach in Georgia?"
Yeah. Yeah. So no, I definitely couldn't have kept that secret. And too, like my cover story would have been blown day one. Like when that guy at the diner was like, "Oh, why are you in town?" I'd been like, "I'm writing a memoir about Margaret Ives." Be like, "Oops, was I not supposed to say that?"
I do wish if I could do life. I think this might be just because I read the book, and I want to do that career once I read a book. Like the one time
Mm-hmm.
I read about those festivals where people dress up, like medieval festivals. Like I wanted to start going to them after I read a book. So I'm easily influenced, and I was like, in another life, I think I would have been a great reporter because I'm nosy. Like I just want to know what's going on. I can ask a lot of questions. My only issue is I suck at writing.
Mm. Well, actually I shouldn't say that. I was gonna say that's what ChatGPT's for, but like that's not a good use. Never mind. There's like a big scandal right now because Book of the Month chose an author who has said he uses AI to write his books, and people are really mad about it. So do not use ChatGPT to write your books.
I did not hear about this. Where was this? Where did you find this information from?
I'm on a couple Book of the Month spoiler pages on Facebook, no less. um, and they're always posting, what they think the books are going to be. And then when the books drop, which ones did you get? And like all of them before the books even drop, they're like, this cover looks like this book that's by this guy who uses AI to write his books. And it was like a big deal. And so then they were posting how they emailed Book of the Month and they were like, excuse me, but do you know you're using an author, blah, 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 blah. And Book of the Month was just like, we leave it up to our members to choose which books to either like read or not read. And people were like, oh, well, I skipped this month. And I'm like, I don't even know who the guy is. Never heard of him. I didn't choose his book, FYI, in case anyone's wondering. I did not choose it. It was my birthday month, though, so I could have gotten it for free, but I did not.
I do miss Book of the Month. I just don't have the space for it. Everyone got the like silver elite on Book of the Month. I'm still dying to read that book.
I added that as because it was my birthday month, so I could add a book for free, and they let me add the Silver Elite Sprayed Edges one for an additional $2.99. So I paid $2.99. It hasn't arrived yet. They sent me an email saying, due to its popularity, it will be delayed. But so I'm gonna get it now, and I'm very excited.
That is exciting. No, I really want to read it. I think we need to do it at the end of the season and do a comparison of those two books because I'm seeing them everywhere, and it's so polarizing. So we need to speak our opinion on it.
I know.
Okay, back to this book. So,
right.
What do we think about our main girl, Alice?
Great. I liked Alice. This was your typical grumpy guy, sunshine girl. And I didn't hate her. I feel like sometimes you read reviews and people are like, oh, the female main character was so blah, blah, blah. And I don't know if anyone wrote that or not about Alice, but I liked Alice. I liked her outlook on life. I appreciated that she wanted to be honest with Hayden. And if she couldn't be honest, she felt like she couldn't be with him, and she stayed true to who she was and her values and all that good stuff. And too, like the fact that she put it together who Hayden was by the end was, because Hayden was getting a whole different story from Margaret. So he wouldn't have been able to figure it out. So she was like, shoot, like I know something you don't, and I can't tell you. And, I just really liked her.
I loved her. I love watching her mother relationship change.
Oh, I hated her mother.
I did hate her mother. Well, I don't think I hated her. I just don't think either of them were good at communicating with the other one. And if they just talked to each other, it would have been resolved.
Mm-hmm.
I do think, I don't know, I feel like relationship with your mother changes as you get older and you're independent and you're like not dependent on them. It's like very different. And I think her father dying was a big piece of that. But one thing I did wish we got to see or got to like have more of was Hayden's interviews, because I wanted to know what the heck Margaret was telling him for him not to put it together. Like, he's supposed to be this great memoir writer, but like, I don't know, maybe he's not that good at questioning after all, and he got lucky with this first memoir. And also, I wish his mother like had a little bit more of a role in it. Like, we didn't even get to know her. It was like kind of just like this figure in like his mind, and I feel like she had a really big important role in this story, and we didn't know her at all.
Yeah, the ending was in some ways unsatisfying in that regard because Margaret obviously concocted this entire thing so that she could get to know Hayden. And it ends with Nicolette, the biological daughter, just being like, yeah, I still don't really want to know you, Margaret, but like, I'll be civil with you kind of thing. Like, you're not gonna like get to know me in a mother-daughter relationship, which is fine, fair, boundaries, I get it. But also, I don't know him personally. I see videos on like TikTok and Instagram of people who are adopted, who even though like they love their adoptive parents, there's just this curiosity to know who your biological parents are. And it's nothing against the people who adopted you. It's nothing like like you love them so much, but you're curious to know where you come from and where you get the traits you do, and like who was the person that gave me up and why. And so the fact that Nicolette's just like, sorry, Margaret, you had your chance, you missed it. I was like, wow, she is a very strong, self-assured, confident woman to just be able to be like, I don't need you, Margaret. Like, I'm good.
I would be a very bad adopted person. I would feel very lost, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I would be his mom. I think I would. I think I would be lost.
I mean, I would probably be a little angry if I found out I could have been a rich heiress. But if I loved my adoptive parents, I would also be like, it all worked out.
I thought it was cool how Hayden was like, my mom was such a good singer, but she had stage fright. She was a good singer because her dad was this epic, like, singer guy, and she had no idea.
Dude, that just blew my mind. I didn't even think of that. That is a great point. Wow. Details,
yeah.
Man.
She
Emily
had
Henry's good.
She had a lot of Easter eggs in this book. When I was walking home from work, someone put a playlist together on Spotify, and it was all just Taylor Swift songs, which I feel like they could be related to any romance book.
Right.
Like, they just align so well.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to think of other really. See, it wasn't a funny book for us to make a lot of jokes about. It was actually pretty serious.
Oh my
the wildest part was
the sister.
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, you're talking about making funny jokes, and I'm like, at what point do we bring up what happened to the sister? Because that is not funny at all. You're really disturbing, actually.
I was not expecting a cult reference in a romance book. It came out of left field.
This book, I'm telling you, it had everything. It was like a thriller, cult, romance. Like, I was shook. Oh, also like kind of historical fiction. Like, we're learning about Cosmo in the 70s or whatever. So I'm like, it had a little bit of everything. And yeah, the sister part was very disturbing because like when she went off to get healed, get treatment, whatever, I was like, just thinking, you're being stupid and needy and you're probably going to marry this guy, fine, whatever. And then it was like, nope, just kidding. She's malnourished. She's in a cult. She can't leave. And I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah. I kind of had, I had an ick from the doctor, and I was like, something's going to go wrong here. I didn't think it would go to that extent. I didn't think she'd extort her family for the cult.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of thought her relationship with her sister, and I don't have a sister, so I can't, I don't know, maybe you can speak on this more. It was very much like Margaret gave to her sister, and her sister really didn't give much back.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, I feel like I give to my sister and she gives me nothing. So maybe I can relate.
Listen to the podcast.
She doesn't listen. Because she gives me nothing. She won't even listen to the podcast. No, I'm just kidding. But man, if you're watching, love you. But no, she so yeah, like I felt like the sister relationship was a little weird. Like the sister was obviously depressed, and I guess maybe it just goes to show mental health in the 70s wasn't really something people knew about or knew how to deal with. But I'm like, if you literally have to make up like, oh, let's go to a concert to see your sister happy, and she's never happy any of the other time. I'm like, something's wrong with your sister. She's obviously very depressed and unhappy. And so it was just kind of sad because obviously Margaret didn't know how to navigate that. She wanted her sister to be happy. She thought the doctor was weird, but she's like, you know what? If my sister feels like she's getting better and, I see pictures of my sister and she looks happy, okay. But yeah, I mean, I agree. It was like Margaret gave, and the sister, what's her face? Laura was just kind of like a ride along. But again, it's like, well, she was depressed. So on the one, I mean, I kind of get it.
I mean, Laura had some serious issues. She has a thing with older men. The doctor the new doctor, and then attachment with her grandfather. It's like,
Yeah. So she has a thing for older doctors.
I understand how they let her go off with another doctor.
Yeah, I was actually a little baffled by that as well. And not just go off, but like, didn't they move to Sweden? Like, they just left the country. I was like, do we not remember what happened last time? And they didn't even leave the country.
No one questioned it. They just let her go. They're like, have fun. This is great for you. I guess because it was a family friend. But
Yeah,
also, wasn't the other guy a family friend with a friend of the grandfather? So,
might have been. Yeah. Yeah. It was weird, to say the least. But it all worked out. Didn't she marry that guy, the second doctor? Yeah.
yes. What did she not attend again? I forget. That
What
was
did she not?
like, didn't Margaret cut her off after that? Oh, was it Cosmo's funeral?
Yeah, Cosmo's funeral. The sister didn't show up for that.
That's
Which,
cold.
yeah, I'm like, that was Margaret's love. Although I will say, it was a little sneaky of Margaret to get with Cosmo when she knew her sister was like totally enamored with him. I was like, Margaret, that's a little bit of a kind of bad move. But I mean, the sister ended up being fine with it. But I mean, yeah, like it was kind of, I guess part of what bothered me about Margaret getting with Cosmo is that going to that concert was for Laura. And then because of that concert, they missed the grandfather dying. So it's like Laura is always going to associate Cosmo with her dead grandpa. And so then for Margaret to bring Cosmo home and be like, Laura, look at my new boyfriend. It's like, you kind of know this. That's not gonna work. But I mean, again, Laura handled it really great. Yeah, she should have gone to the funeral, but also, I don't know. If she was in Sweden, was she in Sweden at that point? No,
I
I
think
don't
she
know.
was.
Might have been.
Yeah, she
Maybe
was
it
in
was too
Sweden.
expensive.
They had all the money in the world.
Yeah,
It was just true love. She couldn't stay away from Cosmos. They
I
were
know.
meant to be.
I know. I actually really liked them and really hated their life and how they were just trapped in this publicity bubble all the time. And I think it was kind of flashing back to Princess Diana, like, because you know how she died. So I was like, I got kind of those same vibes of like, basically, you can be a good person, you can want to do good things, but the media is not going to stay out of your business and you're never going to get to live your life on your terms because they're going to be following you every chance they get. And so her and Cosmo, I mean, they had a good relationship, but they were like, we can never bring a child into this because this is insane.
I know. It kind of broke my heart. The one piece of Cosmo that she had left in this world, she couldn't even keep.
I know. I was surprised in some ways she didn't keep Nicolette just because she had the baby. And then I'm assuming she nursed the baby for a little bit. And so then to think up giving up your baby at that point, I mean, I don't know.
Just kill
That's just
me.
really hard. Especially when I'm sure she wanted to keep the baby. It's different like if you know you don't want to keep the baby for whatever reason, maybe it's easier, but I'm like this was her true love's child, the last piece of him, and she had to give her up.
I guess that is true love. So yeah, this book was just like kind of heavy. Now that I think about it, like all her other books were not this heavy in any regard.
Yeah, that's why I said I went into this expecting a rom-com, and so I was a little baffled by the heavy nature of everything. And so that's why I got to the end and I was like, I don't know if I read the same book as everyone else or if I just didn't read their reviews because everyone else was like, 5 stars, loved it. And I thought 5 stars, loved it meant it's hysterical like all her other books. I was like, that was not funny.
No, I cried, which I don't really cry often in books, and that's when it brings that emotion out of
Mm,
me. I would probably give it maybe like a 4.5 because I did forget some of the plot, like I had to remind myself.
yeah.
But her books always just like you can't go wrong with an Emily Henry book. I truly stand by that. Much as I didn't love People Who Meet on Vacation, I still read it. I still had no problem reading it. I look forward to reading it every night when I got home from work. So yeah, I really enjoyed this book. But it was really heavy, and it's really hard to like have a funny podcast about it.
I know. I will say one of my favorite parts of this book had to do with Hayden and Alice, and it was when they had the hotel fire drill or whatever, the fire alarm was going off, and that guy was like hitting on Alice, and then Hayden came up to her, was just like, "Oh, there you are, sweetie," and then the guy's like, "Oh, I thought you were alone," and Hayden's like, "Obviously, she's not." And I thought like that whole part was really funny and cute, and like their story had more of the funny Emily Henry kind of signature banter going on. So like their story was still what you can expect from a Emily Henry novel. It's just the meat of the book really was focused on what happened with Margaret Ives and Cosmo. And so that's why I say it's like, yeah, a little heavier than, funny story.
Yeah, no, everything with Hayden and Alice was not that heavy. I did think it was really funny when she would like speak at him, and he was just like kind of stare at her like she was a crazy person. And whenever she would say like, "Are you just kissing me to shut me up?" Like I thought that was funny. So yeah, banter was really good. Yeah, I'm trying to think of other. Oh, no, what I really thought was weird. Did her mother really have an outhouse?
Did I miss that? I don't remember that.
It's maybe Maybe I'm reading it wrong.
No, she
Maybe
might
I
have.
am picturing her. I just picture her mom's backyard being like kind of a dump, but then also like really super hippie.
Yeah. I pictured it as super hippie. I pictured lots of plants everywhere, overgrown.
Yeah, not well kept.
Yeah. The mom made me so mad. Like, I'm glad you were able to be okay with her at the end. But when she called Alice and Alice was like, oh, Mom, what's wrong? Oh my gosh, did something happen to my sister? And the mom was just like, oh, I just want to know where you are. All right. If you're fine, okay, bye. I was like, that was weird. That whole like mom daughter relationship just made me so mad. Like the mom just if she loves her daughter, she needs to work on showing it.
I think even in the end, it didn't really wrap up like well. The mom just kind of said like, "Oh, I don't know how to communicate with you." Like I don't even think the mom said "I love you" at the end. It kind of was just like, "This is who I am. I love you." Not really. I don't even know if she said "I love you," but she kind of was like, "I don't know how to communicate with you. This is who I am." Like that's that.
Yeah. I did not jive with that. I mean, I guess that's what makes it part of the great big beautiful life. Like that is life. Sometimes you have people in your life who don't show you maybe the affection you want, and you don't get to choose necessarily who your family is. And she loves her mom, but if I were Alice, I'm pretty sure I'd be burning that bridge. But good for Alice for hanging in there.
I do love her positive outlook on life. She's
Yeah.
so great. I would be friends with her for sure.
Oh yeah.
I kind of envy her job, but that's about it. Yeah, no, I'm gonna go back up. It's a 5-star read for me. I'm not going to do my halves. It's a 5 out of 5 for me. I did like this a lot. It was a really good summer read, although it was still really heavy.
It was a 4 out of 5 for me because, again, I think part of it was my own expectations. As I read it, I'm thinking it's going to be funny and it's not. But I will say, this Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, matching my shirt, that's a 5 out of 5 for me. Isn't that so pretty that they did that to the book?
That is really pretty.
It's very
No,
pretty.
lately the book editions have just been, I would say sometimes they're a little too much, but every book has a special edition and it's really great.
Yeah. I walk into Walmart, and the books are stunning. And I'm like, what? Who is doing this? Like, I don't care who's doing it. I'm gonna keep buying them. But if Fourth Wing brought us anything, it was that publishers were like, wait, we can just do this to regular books and put them on Walmart shelves. Cool, let's do it. And that is a fantastic takeaway.
I think everything is now just being like colored pages. Like they've really tapped into a whole new market of just pretty books.
Yeah.
I see on your bookshelf the Catherine Center book. Did you get it?
Oh, I did. It arrived today. My mom actually opened it and was like, "Oh, your book's here. You don't have to buy it," because she doesn't want me buying any more books. And it's one of the pretty ones.
I know. It's so exciting. I told my grandfather they sent to us. My grandfather's like, "Who are you? Like, why are they sending you books?" And I'm like, "We are a big deal. We are a self-proclaimed big deal."
I'm like, we have like a whole following of more than just our parents.
That being said, please follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and please subscribe to us on YouTube. We have much better visuals this year, so please subscribe there. You can watch this episode there if you're listening to us right now. But yes. So I was like, Grandpa, I'm a big deal. Like, they sent us books now. This is pretty cool. And he's like, okay, whatever you say, as long as you're not buying them. So
Yeah, that was when I told my mom that you got the Catherine Sinner book and it hadn't arrived for me. She was like, "Well, reach back out to them, see if they can send you another." And I was like, I think it works like that. She's like, "Well, get the tracking number." It's like, I don't think it's that serious. But to her, she doesn't want me buying any more books, so it was a big deal.
I knew they mailed you one because your address is first in our email. So like they would be like, let me go skip this one and go here.
Well, I was like, I'm sure Kayla would have included me on it, but I was like, why did, because they said they're going to overnight it and then you got yours right away. And I was like, why is mine not here? Did she not include me? Am I kicked out of the podcast?
No, I put your address first.
That's so nice.
I think it's just because I'm in New York and I think their warehouses are here. I think that's why I get the book sooner. But so next week we are reading the new Hunger Game book. I'm forgetting the name of it.
Sunrise on the Reaping.
I have not read it yet. Marissa has. So I'm excited. I am going to start it now. I'm wrapping up One Golden Summer. So after that, I'm going to start reading it. And I'm really excited.
I loved it so much.
Is it better than the fourth one?
Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. I like it better than that one, but Haymitch was also always one of my favorite characters, and it's about Haymitch. So for me, like, I was already incentivized to like it because it's my favorite character, and then it has just a ton of references to Catching Fire, which is my favorite of all the Hunger Games books. So again, like, I was gonna like this no matter what she wrote because just what it is. So for me, it was like, actually, you know what? I won't tell you how good it was. I guess you'll have to come back next week and find out, or in 2 weeks.
So thank you for listening. This is Kayla
And Marissa.
Have a good night. I think you can.
Well, I guess I can hit stop.